Oh, do I find it depressing to talk about depression? But in passing, when answering how are you, how's the depression going? Yeah, it's a very hard thing to just like casually talk about at the water cooler. They're kind of weird things to say to people, but then it's also hard to communicate the feeling of the depression as well. You know, like that feeling of worthlessness and hopelessness. Green? Yay! It's very weird with the person with the camera just following me around like this. Hello everyone, my name is Jace. I'm a community manager at Coffee State Studios. The weirdest thing for me right now, like, so this is fine because now I'm talking to you, is that if I'm supposed to just ignore, that's weird because I can't ignore. I know you're right there. I can see you. I can go anywhere I want. Let's go this way. So I like never go to the office, and so there are like new people there that I've never met, and they've been working there for months. So it's awkward now. I also can hardly ever remember how to get into the office because I'm rarely there. So hopefully it's just unlocked, and hopefully I can get in and get the shirts and then get out before anyone sees. That's the plan. That's the major play now. I have to call ahead and say, where are the shirts? So I can do it.
What do you say if they say like, how have you been, how are you?
I say I'm good. I say it's the best day of my life. I've been great. I've tried many approaches to this, and now the answer is just good. You just say you're good. It's easy. Hey look, that's our game. We're in. We're supposed to take our shoes off. Oh. All right, mission accomplished. I think my name's Caesar. Caesar! Oh, came to me. It must be Caesar. "32-year-old struggles with keys. Gets there in the end." Oh! Ooh. We lit, fam. We lit. This video I'm gonna be doing now is we're revealing information about Tier 8 in our game, Satisfactory. And we've confirmed the existence of this tier before, but there's been no information about it. So I'm going to be saying that it is coming in the next update, and they're going to be providing some information about, about what that means and what else is going to come along with it. So step one is I have to find the script that I wrote yesterday. So I got to make this as upbeat, fun as possible.
But how does that work? I mean, right now you're in the middle of a period of depression.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're going to sit here and be upbeat. How does that work?
Practice. A lot of practice. There's a lot of folks out there who maybe suffer from chronic depression or bipolar disorder or whatever their illness might be, and we get to practice every single day trying to pretend that it's not there in order to make just all interactions more smooth. in order to get along with coworkers well, in order to be a fun friend and then just get by day to day, you need to sort of kind of hide it. So over the years you get practice, and then yeah, you just gotta switch it on and then switch it back off again. I feel a little sociopathic at times after I finish filming something, and I'm like, all right, bye everyone, and then I'm just like actually dead inside and turning off the camera. And then I'm like, how can I do that? It feels so weird and wrong, but it's almost cartoonish how different I feel when I'm performing, and then the second I'm in between a take, I just switch off and I'm and frustrated and anxious, and all of that comes back again. You know, this is an edited, crafted piece of content, so of course it seems like I'm fun or funny or charming, but to me, what I think of immediately is all the things that they're not seeing, and so then I feel like I'm deceiving people, and that's actually something I'm afraid of with this video, is that when people find this out, what are they going to think of me when they watch my future videos? Are they going to think that I'm lying again? And maybe I am. I don't know. I don't know if I'm lying or not. Like, here's the thing. If I were to be hanging out with people at a bar and just socializing, I would be this way, the same way that I am with the camera, exactly the same. You know. So in that sense, I don't think I'm lying so much. I'm not giving off a false Jace. This is still a real kind of Jace, but it's just not what I'm feeling at all. And it's not how I live 99.9% of the time. Yeah. If I was going to be a community manager, I wanted to be myself. I wanted my humor, my personality, and I wanted the company's personality to come across. And I wanted all the highs and lows of what game development can bring to be allowed to be shown. So, you know, if we're going to delay a game, perfectly fine to delay it. Let's not be afraid to do that. Let's not be afraid to make mistakes in the public eye. And then at the same time, let's not be afraid to enjoy the successes as well. So my goal has always been to be as honest as possible. Like there's nothing to be ashamed of as a game developer, whether you win, succeed or fail. So they said, okay. So I wanted to test it a little bit. And so in my introduction video, I went amongst things such as like, you know, I like to play RuneScape. I like gin, amongst the, you know, little factoids about who I am. I also told them that that I trim my pubic hairs, which I still do, by the way. And I put that in there to kind of test the folks at Coffee State. They're like, yeah, this is what the script has to be. And they're like, yeah, does it have to be like that? I'm like, yeah, it does. And they said yes, and I made the video and I put it out there. And that was the point where I was like, all right, well, they're gonna let me do my thing, and this is gonna be awesome, and I'm gonna do it, and that's great. And that's kind of how it started. And by the way, no one cares that I said that I trimmed my pubic hair in the video. Like, literally no one cares. What the fuck? Yeah, where I grew up, it was an absolute shithole. Like, there were 3 kids from my school murdered. Like, it was a scary place to grow up. So my family was kind of a do what you got to do to survive sort of thing. So if you're living in a shitty area, then so be it. I was not even really allowed to leave the front gate of our house because we were always just afraid of everything outside of our house, basically. And there was even, one night there was a kid from my school who was murdered, and obviously I didn't know at the time, I wasn't there. But their dad was walking through the streets screaming out their kid's name, trying to find their kid because the kid was missing. And it was the kind of neighborhood where our reaction wasn't to like, help the man or see what's wrong. It was quick, turn off the lights, close the doors, close the windows, don't draw attention to ourselves, don't have him come to our house. We were kind of just afraid of maybe there's a crazy drunk person or something, we didn't know. I remember the first time I even took a bus home from school because parents weren't able to, because of work, they weren't able to like come get us. And it was terrifying, like getting off the bus and walking from the bus stop to home was so scary for my brother and I had my younger brother with me, and I'd have to trick him and be like, we have to, it's a race now, let's run. And so I would just run home because we're like afraid of being away from home. And I would pretend it's just a fun race for my brother to make him feel comfortable so that, so he's not scared. This is all dodgy and stupid probably, but I was 12, okay? Like, but that's what it felt like at that time, yeah. It was like if you're eating food and there's no taste, that's kind of what life was like. It was just a chore, and I was only living day to day just because time wouldn't stop. And so I remember that was at that time when I thought, well, I got super depressed, and that's when the first time I started developing like actual like suicidal thoughts. At this point where I was like, either I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm making this decision now where I'm going to be completely selfish with my life, and I'm going to do exactly what I want with no limitation put on myself, or I'm going to, or I don't want to exist anymore. I don't want to wake up tomorrow. I was playing Final Fantasy 13 at the time, dog shit game. but I was playing that at the time, and I thought it was Final Fantasy 12. That doesn't matter. But yeah, then I thought, like maybe I'll make video games. I love video games so much. They've been with me all my life. People have a soundtrack of their life. For me, it's like I remember what game I was playing during every event in my life. So maybe I'll see if I can make video games for a living. And I researched schools, and there was one nearby that I could study at. And so I said, all right, well, this is my last push. This is my last chance. I'm gonna go all in with this video games thing and see what happens. And yeah, it's like I went to school there and I studied, and it's like I became alive again. I had a purpose. I woke up every day just thinking about game development and studying and getting better and learning programming, and yeah, it was probably one of the best years of my life after that, and it turned things around completely. It gave me a direction. It's this weird thing where it's like a nice little soundbite if I were to say video games saved my life. It kind of did. But maybe that was just what really saved my life, was that I decided to do what I wanted to do. It just happened to be video games. I was like, there is no future for me here. I have to go somewhere else to look for game dev work. And again, it's that situation where it's like, I am going to live the life that I want, or not at all. And so I sold everything that I owned, and I just moved to Japan because I knew there was work in Japan. My Japanese wasn't that good. I had nowhere to live, and I didn't have a job, and I didn't have a lot of money. But I did it anyway. But a friend of mine put me in touch with someone who worked at SNK Playmore, a video game company there, and I ended up getting an interview. I remember that interview. It was me and 4 Japanese men there interviewing me in Japanese. They didn't speak English at all, and ended up getting the job. So that's when I finally made my break into the game industry, and that was a very magical moment, very overwhelming period. Yeah. So that was, gives me shivers when I think about it. It was really bizarre, actually. But yeah, that's when I got into the industry, and I finally made my dream come true of making games. I was so impressed that their game, Sanctum, was so much cooler than mine. I was like, God damn it, this is so cool. How can they be at the same level of, study as me? It felt weird. So I had kept an eye on Sanctum the whole time, on Coffee Stain the whole time because of Sanctum, and I played it when it came out, and I played Sanctum 2, and Sanctum 2 was one of my favorite games of all time. So I'd fallen in love with Coffee Stain. And then a few months later, I emailed them and said, you know, I'm kind of done living in Japan. I want to leave, and I wanted to move to Sweden, and I wanted to work for Coffee Stain. That was my goal. Again, this is the you know, I want to do the thing that I want to do, and they ended up saying yes, and I got the job at Coffee Stain, which is just, again, it was like another dream come true. So another big change in my life, and I packed up everything and moved here. I think I'm a very successful person in the sense that, you know, I've had these personal goals and I've achieved them, and not everyone gets to do that, like, honestly. And yet I still feel fucking shit. Depression just doesn't care. When it's on, it's on. If I think of like one of the highest periods of my life, like in terms of like objectively, if you were to measure it, it would be the first few months after I started working at SNK Playmore in Japan, and it was like the best time of my life with my friends. I just got this job, and everything's kind of, you know, working out. And even during those times, I would still have these really, really deep depressions. Every week when I would go to game dev meetups, I'd be putting on this face to make sure that I looked like I was happy and quirky and whatever, just so people wouldn't know that I felt so bad. So it's like a weird thing with the depressions. It's like when you're depressed, then you have a reason to be depressed. It'll grab all of those reasons and it'll shove them in your face and be like, you need to feel bad now, you know, like it'll remind you of every mistake you've ever made, all of that kind of stuff, all that good stuff, telling you how crappy your life is. But if your life is perfect, the depression still doesn't care. It's gonna find something. And if it can't find anything, it'll just make you feel bad. Like you'll just not want to exist, or not want to get out of bed, or doing anything is overwhelmingly difficult for no reason. And then this guilt that comes over you of like, but why do I feel this way when I have everything I want? It's a fucking bus. Just gonna cut the whole thing out. I wasn't expecting that. I'll go back to my spot. Bipolar disorder is a mood disorder where your mood kind of shifts up and down between two kind of extremes. So, you know, super low mood, which is depression, and a high mood, which is mania. I have type 2 of bipolar disorder, so my mania is not like full-blown mania. It's like a weaker version called hypomania. A lot of people know sort of what depression is. You just kind of feel awful and sad and worthless and hopeless. Not a lot of people understand what mania is, though. The kind of symptoms that I get is I would get like the elevated mood, like I would like this sense of euphoria. Everything just feels good. I drink a lot, party a lot, so I blow my money like nothing else, just on stupid shit when I don't have the money. There was like one time I woke up one morning and I wanted to go to Japan, and I also wanted to visit my mom who lives in America. So I just booked an entire trip to Japan, hotels, everything, and flights to visit my mom. And that wiped me out. I had no money left. I maxed out my credit card and I had to borrow money from a coworker to get by. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I don't know how I thought that was the right thing to do, but I did that. And the worst thing about this is by the time I went on those trips, all right, they were back-to-back trips, all right? And that gets exhausting when you're traveling for, you know, if you're away from home for many weeks or whatever. But they all landed during a depression. I didn't even enjoy it. It was like, it was so hard to do anything on those trips. I don't want to say it was a waste of money, because I got to see my friends and I got to see my mom, and that's all great. But it was like, It just wasn't a good decision. The really tricky thing though with my type 2 is because, so those are my symptoms, and if I had mania, like full-blown mania, it would be really obvious to people when those things are happening. But because I have hypomania and it doesn't get so bad, people just think that I'm in a good mood. I'm exercising every day, I'm going on runs, you know, I'm working a lot, I'm super happy, I'm super social. These periods of my life are generally fueled by this illness, but it's not so bad that people think something's wrong. They just think Jace is a little wacky, but he's a fun guy. It's kind of an upward spiral where, because I'm more social, I do more, I drink more, I stimulate myself more and more and more, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And the higher that goes up, the bigger the depression after. So then it comes slamming down.
But is the feeling like the like depression Jace is winning and is a real one? Or?
I feel that, actually. Yeah, I think that's a great question. I do feel like depression Jace is the real Jace. And I think it's probably just because I'm depressed more than hypomanic. I think that's pretty much it, I guess. I do have a big identity issue though, because now I don't know who I am. Like, am I the guy that never leaves his apartment and just orders in pizza, doesn't clean, doesn't do anything, just does the same shit every day? And never sees anyone, doesn't speak to anyone? Is that who I am? Or am I the guy that goes on trips, meets with friends many times a week, or goes out running every day, you know, exercising, cooking food at 1 a.m., you know, like which one am I? Am I the outgoing one or am I not? Because I'm never both at the same time. It's always one or the other. Oh, hi. I rely on sleeping pills pretty much every night to get to sleep. I have a lot of anxiety attacks the second I get into bed. Sometimes I'm up till 4 in the morning, just constant panic attacks. I literally would feel like I'm about to die. Like, I actually think I should call the ambulance. I'm gonna have a heart attack and die any second. I'm in a state where I believe that completely. And I will be in that state sometimes for 4 or 5 hours straight, trying to get to sleep, and I'll take sleeping pills. Zero effect from the sleeping pills. And I just have to lie there in bed and just ride it out. You know, so that kind of stuff happens as well. It really, really sucks. So it's very scary at night when I have to go to bed and I know I have a day of work and I don't know what's going to happen when I go to sleep. Like, am I going to sleep? When I wake up, how am I going to feel? Who knows? My depressions have gotten like worse over time for sure, and one way that I can kind of tell is, you know, I remember back, if we go back to when I was 19 and I, you know, had the first time that I had these like suicidal thoughts that I didn't want to exist anymore. Fast forward to today, and those thoughts I have them on a daily basis, and this is not an exaggeration. I'm sure I skip a day where I don't have a suicidal thought. I'm sure it happens, but no, I have them every single day. And that's something that gradually got worse over the years, until, you know, where we are as of this year. This year has been the worst year of my life, I think. By every metric, I am living the best life I've ever had, but I also feel the worst I've ever felt. When it comes to work, it's been a big fucking struggle, man. Like, Coffee Stain have, I think, gone above and beyond to try and accommodate me and my illness. You know, getting me in touch with doctors and things like that, and then also changing the way that I work, how much I work. You know, like this year, I haven't worked a 40-hour week this year. They just wanted me to be as comfortable as I can and to work within my means in the most sustainable way possible. I think the first couple years, I didn't really know what was going on, and so I couldn't tell them what was really going on, and so I just had like a lot of absent days from work, from my depressions and things. And then it would always seem like that I'm better because I would go into my highs and everyone's like, Jace is better now, he's back. But then I would go back into my depression again, and then they're like, oh fuck, this thing's happening again. And over the years we've found, I think, a good way to deal with things, and that is essentially just not to fight it. We all know that I have bipolar disorder, and if I can't work, then that's just the case. If I need to just work less and shift some duties, that's the case. Like there are times, like especially this year, where I would only work 4 hours a day. No, there was a time I was only working 2 hours a day, and Coffee Stand have been great and accommodating. You know, it's just been like, well, okay, well, what can you do? You know, we'll have you do that. What makes you feel most comfortable?
Do you think like 5-10 years ahead?
Do I think 5 years ahead? No. Fuck no. I can't see me 5 years from now. Absolutely not. That's not to say it's not going to happen. I'm just saying I can't see it. My hope is that something turns around, or that I'm able to turn something around. Maybe I need another one of those, you know, moments where I make a big leap and try something new. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. It's like a staring contest, and I'm losing.